complex. Approach the bar on my thumbs, right outside of my legs, usually about a thumb length away from the smooth. Make sure you wrap that thumb around the bar, roll those knocking knuckles down. Okay, first movement in the complex is going to be RDL. Not like the straight leg deadlifts that we do at Central Hinds, right? That's what we used to do. I want a slight bend in my knees. I want the shoulder blades back and that back flat. From here, I'm going to keep that bar in contact with my legs. The movement is now just for my hips. Push my hips back as far as I can. This is my RDL. That back stays flat the whole time. That bar stays in contact with the legs. Notice there's a slight bend in my knee throughout the whole movement. We go 5 reps of the RDL. After that, it's RDL to shrug. RDL down to the top of that knee. Come up high with a big shrug, finishing high on your toes. This will be done fast. 5 reps there. As soon as you get done with that shrug, RDL to high pull. Similar to the shrug, but instead of just shrugging, I'm gonna take that bar up high, about to my sternum level. Same thing, RDL to the top of the knee, keep that bar close. Finish with that bar up high, elbows high and wide, finishing high on your toes. One thing that an athlete will do a lot of times is they'll dip under the bar. I don't want to see this dip. Let the bar bring the athlete back down. 5 reps of the high pull. After the high pull, you have 5 reps of your hang clean. Same thing, starting to put it all together now. Catching that quarter squat, staying back up, reset. 5 reps of your hang clean. As soon as you get done with that, and the last hang clean, set up for front squat. 5 reps. Make sure we're getting to our depth on our front squat. That is the hang clean complex. Now moving on to the bench press. For the bench press, I want to maintain 5 points of contact. 2 feet on the ground, butt on the bench, upper back and head flat on the bench. I want to set up with my eyes just under the barbell. Again, I'm going to get a thumb's length away from that smooth portion. I do want to wrap my thumb around the bar for safety. My spotter will help me unrack the weight. First thing I'm going to do is retract my shoulder blades, make sure I'm in a nice, tight, stable position. From there, I'll take a big breath in, lower the barbell all the way down to my chest, pressing that barbell up, releasing that breath midair. As a spotter, the only time they should touch the bar is unracking and re-racking the weight. No spotter should be doing a curl or upright row to help that athlete get it up.
All right, we're going to be doing the single arm row. First things first, we're not going to go with the knee on the bench or anything like that. We're going to go straight from a straight stance, a squared up stance. You're going to put one arm on the bench. You're going to reach down and grab the weight. In this movement, you're not going to be going out with the weight or anything like that. You're going to be pulling straight into your hip pocket, keeping that back flat the whole time. And you're not going to be throwing it up. It's going to be one controlled movement, all the way up, all the way back down.
Hey, I know we know how to do a push-up. So weeks 1 through 3 is just a regular body weight push-up. Week 4 introduces weighted push-ups. These can be done with a band or with a plate. If you have a band, all we're going to do is cross that band one time, put that band right in the middle of our palms, set it back about my mid-scap. Set up just like a normal push-up. Make sure those fingertips are straight ahead. My butt's not way up high, my butt's not way up low. I'm in a nice neutral position. Lowering all the way down, all the way up. That's the banded push-up. If you don't have access to a band, same thing can be done with the bumper plate. Set the plate on my back, get set up, nice and controlled, all the way down, all the way up.
For the row, the setup for this is going to be, you're going to get a thumb's length away from the smooth. You're going to wrap your hands all the way around, wrap thumbs around. You're going to make sure you look at the ceiling through this whole movement. You're going to set your feet on the bench, hips up, pull yourself straight up to the bar. You do not want to sag your hips in this movement and just pull like this. You want to make sure you stay straight, stay flat, all the way up, all the way down.
And next thing up is our farmer's carry. When we pick these dumbbells up, make sure that back is flat, and all you're doing is deadlifting up. I do not want these dumbbells bouncing off the legs, so first thing I want to do is set my shoulder blades back, nice and stable. Again, I want those dumbbells just a little outside of my legs. As I start my walk for my farmer's carry, I'm not on a runway crossing over. It's a nice, normal walk the whole way throughout. On the program, it says 12 yards. Set cones 12 yards apart. Go all the way down, turn around all the way back. When you get done, make sure they're setting the dumbbells down, not just dropping them, letting them bounce all over.
Now we're going to be demonstrating a front plank and the side plank, so right and left side planks. So when you get set up, you're going to get on your forearms, you're going to open up your palms. When you get up into this position, you want your back flat, everything should be straight. You should be in a straight line all the way down. You want your eyes down, palms up the whole time. Whenever you rotate, you do not want to touch the floor. You want to go ahead have that arm at a 90-degree angle. Raise your opposite arm right straight above your shoulder. You do not want it to go over your head. You don't want it to go down. You don't want them like this. Make sure they're pushing their hips up the whole time. Arms straight in the air.
Hey, up next is the back squat. I know that y'all done the back squat in the past, but I'm gonna show y'all how I like to teach it. I'm gonna approach the bar. I'm gonna get a close but comfortable grip. I'm gonna set up right underneath the barbell. Make sure I'm right in the middle. I want to roll my knuckles straight up towards the sky, tucking my elbows underneath. Stepping up, one step back on each foot. Feet should be hip width or slightly wider with my toes straight ahead or slightly out. First thing I'm gonna do is take a big breath. I'm gonna initiate the movement by sitting my hips back. As that, I'm gonna squat down parallel or deeper. In the off-season program, full range of motion is key. Nobody should be doing quarter squats, half squats. They should go all the way down, all the way up with a big chest. Nobody should have a spotter that is hugging them and helping them get it up. They should be able to do it on their own. Again, knuckles straight up to the ceiling. Initiate the movement by sitting your hips back. Big breath in, big breath out. Make sure you're getting your depth every rep.
Now we're going to be demonstrating box jumps. When you approach this, you're going to get your feet shoulder width apart. When your hands go back, your hips go back, and you're going to explode this movement. You want to make sure you're catching it with your chest up, eyes up in that quarter front squat position. You do not want to land in a position where you are in a deep squat. And then whenever you do the movement, you want to step off and then come down and repeat.
Hey, these are the repeat low hurdle jumps, okay? The way I like to do it is go 2 feet in between each hurdle. These hurdles are 6 inches tall. If you don't have small hurdles, you can use cones, and that'll be fine. This is gonna be one of those exercises that's gonna be a little bit different for the guys, something they're not used to. So don't get too frustrated when it looks really bad for the first couple of weeks. It should get better. As they get better with it, you can progress the height of each hurdle. When I'm doing these, big key focus is very minimal time spent on the ground. Using my hands, quick ground contact times. Notice I'm not tucking my knees to my chest throughout the jump. This is a very quick, working on the elasticity of my tendons. Nice, quick reactions.
The next movement we're going to do is the RDL. Same thing that we did in our complex. It's going to be the same movement, except this time we're going to be adding a little load to it. So you're going to walk up just like in the complex, thumbs length away from the smooth, or you knock your knuckles down, retract your shoulder blades, take 2 steps out. Now you're going to keep a slight bend in your knees the whole time throughout this movement. Your aiming point is going to be below your knee, and you're going to keep that bar in contact with your legs the whole time. When you initiate the movement, you're going to push your hips back to the wall, keep that back flat, eyes straight ahead, stand straight back up.
Hey, next thing, gonna be our broad jump. I like to pair the broad jump contrasted with the RDL. It's the same pattern, that hip extension pattern. Okay, so here and driving through. Just like the RDL, I'm gonna mimic that same thing on my broad jump. Now this time I'm gonna use my hands for counter movement, just like we did on the box jump earlier. Start with my hands up high. When my hands go back, my hips go back. When my hands go through, my hips go through. Now I'm jumping over as far as I can. The only reason this hurdle is here is to ensure that I pick my feet up in the jump and drive my knees up and not just scrape my feet against the ground. Here's the broad jump. Land with that chest straight ahead. Don't want to land way down here.
Next thing we're going to be doing is the barbell military press. So whenever you do this movement, you're not going to be using any of your lower body. It's going to be strictly upper body when you press. So you're going to get set up like a bench press. You're going to be a thumb's length away from the smooth. Pull yourself under the bar. You want your elbows directly under the bar the whole time. When you push up, you want to go straight up. You do not want to go too far behind your head. You don't want to be pushing out. That's not what we want here. We want it to be straight above your head. When you go down, all the way down to your chest again, all the way back up.
And the next thing we're gonna be doing is the chest supported row. You're gonna incline your bench, not too high, but high enough to where I do not hit the dumbbells on the bench on the way down. I'm gonna get set up with my chest on the bench. I don't want my neck on the bench. I want my upper chest, neck, and head all the way off the bench. I'm gonna lean, grab one dumbbell, lean, grab the other dumbbell. My setup is gonna be pulling straight back to my hip pocket, just like on that single arm dumbbell row. All the way down, all the way up again. I don't wanna be here pulling straight up with my elbow up wide, pulling from front to back. Hey, next one up is gonna be our pull-ups. When it comes to grip on the pull-ups, I don't necessarily say that one grip is best. It's always good to mix it up. You can go here with your palms towards your face, palms away from your face, neutral grip. I do like this one a lot. You can even do wide grip with it, okay? So when I do these pull-ups, I wanna make sure I'm going all the way down, all the way up. All the way down, all the way up. Chin over the bar every single time. If I'm a little bit bigger, a little bit weaker, and I struggle with doing a body weight pull-up, here's a band for assistance. Putting it around the hooks, crossing it over one time. When I use the band, make sure I step into the band and step out. I don't want to jump in or jump out. Feet in. Now just go through my normal pull-up. If you do not have access to a band, another thing you can do is put a bench or a chair or a box underneath, and you can get a little help from your legs. Slowly progress over time. Eventually, you should be able to do a body weight pull-up.
So now we're going to be doing the dumbbell shrugs. So what you're going to do is grab your dumbbells, have them directly at your sides. So you don't want them out in front. Here, you want them directly at their sides. Whenever they do this movement, they're going to take their shoulders straight up to their ears and back down. In weeks 1 and 2, there is no pause. But by weeks 3, we're going to be having them going up, get a good pause, straight back down. You do not want them going up and rolling. We're not rolling this motion. It is a straight up and down movement.
Hey, next up is the goblet split squat. This is going to be another one of the exercises that the guys might have a little, challenge doing at first just because of stability issues. When I'm doing the split squat, I want to make sure that toe is straight ahead. The thing is, if I get too wide in this stance, this knee is going to be behind that foot. If I'm getting too close, I'm going to be way up forward, and that way it's going to be here. Heel's going to come off the ground. It's going to be hard to balance. I need to find that sweet spot. Again, both toes straight ahead. One other thing, on this back foot, watch when I go down. I don't want rolling over that pinky side. I want to push through the ball of that foot with every single rep. So that is a body weight version of it. Weeks 1 is going to be a goblet split squat. Don't be afraid to start them off extremely light on this just till they get comfortable with the movement. Find the ground of that first rep. After that, hover just above. Go all reps on one side before you swap to the other leg. Hey, next one up is the dumbbell single leg RDL. Again, first, I want my athletes to go do this body weight before I add that load to them. So just like the RDL, I want to have a slight bend in my knee. I don't want that leg completely locked out the whole time, okay? Slight bend in my leg, shoulder blades back, chest is flat. My swing leg is going to initiate the movement. I should not hinge over here up top without my leg moving first. Leg swings through. There should be a straight line from my heel to my head. The whole time my back stays flat, I'm not rounded here. If you have an athlete that's struggling pretty hard with that, put their hand on the bench for assistance. That way they can gauge how much help they are getting. One thing about this is when I'm doing the single leg RDL, I want that swing leg's toe to stay straight towards the ground. I do not want them opening up here. Their hips should not open up. They should be straight towards the ground. So when I do this with a dumbbell, I'm going to hold the dumbbell in the hand of the leg that's swinging. My right leg is down. It's the one getting that stretch. My left leg is swinging, so I'm going to hold the dumbbell in my left hand. Dumbbell, single leg, RDL.
Now we're going to talk about a barbell incline press. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit down. Same rules that you would do with the bench press. Thumbs linked away from the smooth. Wrap your thumbs around. Take the bar off, retract them shoulder blades. Then you're going to take a deep breath. Come all the way down to your chest in a straight line. Exhale, push up. Same spotting rules apply for the incline press that would apply to the bench press. You don't want no one curling or doing a roll up.
Hey, the next movement is going to be a rear delt raise. When we do this at first, don't be afraid to keep these extremely light, especially if it's something new. I'm going to get set up just like I would in an RDL. Slight bend in my knees, and I'm going to hinge over. I don't want to round my back here. Keep that back flat, shoulder blades back. Take those dumbbells, slight bend in my arms, going straight back with them. I do not want to bounce the dumbbells off of one another. Each rep is a new rep.
So what I'm about to do is alternating V-ups. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down. You're going to go to opposite arm, opposite foot. Make sure that shoulder blades get off the ground. And you're going straight up every time.
Okay, next one is going to be a plate raise. I believe we're starting off with 25 pounds in the program. During the plate raise, I'm going to get in a nice quarter squat stance. I don't want to be shrugged up way up high. I want those shoulders down. All I'm doing is raising this plate to where I can see through the hole, setting it back down. Arms don't have to be completely straight, but I also don't want them bent too much. Just a slight bend in my arm, all the way down, all the way up. That's your plate raise.
Now we're going to be talking about the bent over row. So what you're going to do is, just like on your RDL movements, you're going to approach the bar, thumbs length away, wrap your thumb around, roll your knock knuckles down, pick it up, step out. Feet shoulder width apart, slight bend your knees, hinge over. At this point, you want to keep your back flat. You don't want to be too far like this. You don't want to be raising up throughout this movement. You want to stay down, back flat, pull straight towards your belly button, and then back down.
Next one's gonna be a suitcase carry. Very similar to the farmer's carry, but instead of holding a dumbbell in each hand, I'm just gonna be holding one dumbbell in one hand. Squat down, pick up the dumbbell. My opposite hand is gonna be on my stomach. This dumbbell wants to pull me this way. I need to keep upright, but I also don't want to lean too far away. Same thing, 12 yards apart. Nice, controlled walk. Again, not here, not here. Back's flat, eyes are straight ahead, walking normally.
All right, so now we're going to be doing barbell curls. When you get the bar, you're going to step out. You want to make sure in this movement you're going to go all the way down with it. So you're going to go all the way up, all the way down. You don't want your guys to be rowing it back and doing this movement, which we tend to see a lot of. And you also don't want them to be throwing it in. If that's the case, they're using their hips for it, lighten the load. So all the way down, all the way up, every rep.
Hey, next one is our dumbbell skull crushers. We get set up on a flat bench just like I would for a dumbbell press. On the way down, when I do this, I want these dumbbells in neutral the whole time. I don't want them turned in. When we're doing this, that elbow should stay perpendicular to the floor the entire time. They shouldn't be down here or go over my head. So now all I'm doing is flexing and extending my elbow. The dumbbells should go to the side of my skull, considering the skull crushers, all the way back up. Cody, get to the side real quick.
Yep.
One thing that people are going to do is let those elbows go forward or go way back. Remember, I want that elbow to stay perpendicular to the floor. Just bending my elbow and extending it.
What you're going to be doing is the hammer grip curls. So what you're going to do is you want to have your hands in a neutral grip position. So we're not going to be going like this. It's going to be just like this. You're going to go all the way up to the front of that shoulder, all the way back down. Same principles as the barbell curl. You don't want them to be throwing their whole body into this. It's strict, all the way up to the front of that shoulder, all the way back down.
Dumbbell front and lateral raise. Okay, I'll show you the front first. It's similar to the plate raise. Make sure I'm not shrugging up way high when I do this. Quarter squat stance. Dumbbells out front, all the way about eye level, setting them back down, nice control. This is your front raise. Remember, there can be a slight bend in your elbow. I don't want to completely extend it. Lateral raise, same thing, straight out to the side. Pretty simple here. Just make sure the athletes aren't, if they're having to do that to get the weight up, it's a little too heavy, lighten the load.
I'll be showing you the plate tricep extension and also the plate curl all in the same video. So what you're going to do is, with tricep extension, you're going to get the plate above your head. You're going to make sure your elbows stay in. You're going to go all the way down, all the way up every time. And then when you go to the curl, same principle as all the other curls. You're going to take it all the way up as high as you can get it, all the way back down.
Hey, the last one that we have on the actual workout for in weight room exercises is going to be the bench dips. These bench dips are going to be a lot of times for the bigger guys and some of the weaker guys. I know we actually have the dip rack at Central Hinds, so some of the lighter guys or stronger guys are allowed to use that. These bench dips, set my hands here, just outside my shoulders, working all the way down, all the way up. I want that upper arm to get parallel to the floor, nice and controlled the whole time. All right, this is the warm-up for day 1 and 3. Okay, so both of our sprint days, our acceleration day and our top end speed day. This is the warm-up for phase 1. Some new things will be added later in the phases, okay? So the first thing that I tell them to do, jog to the 50 and back out here on the football field. I'm not gonna show you that. Let's pretend I jog to 50 and back. As soon as they get back, knee hug into forward lunge for 15 yards. All that is this, pull that knee up, straight in to that forward lunge. 15 yards there. As soon as I get to 15 yards, turn around, leg cradles, quad pulls for the leg cradle. Grabbing one leg on my foot, one on my shin, pulling up, leg cradle, quad pull for 15 yards, all the way back to the goal line. As soon as we get done with that, I go straight into hamstring kicks. Y'all might call them something differently, but this is all what we call hamstring kicks. Kicking that opposite hand, the opposite foot for 15 yards. As soon as I get to the 15-yard line, turning around, hamstring scoops on the way back, 15 yards. As soon as I get through that, this is where things get a little bit different. I take them through a movement series. Usually it's starts off with just a shuffle, okay? So I'll shuffle to the 20 and back, very simple. Shuffle to the 20 and back. As soon as you get there, focus on changing direction quickly. I don't care about how fast they're shuffling. I'm more worried about being smooth and having a quick change of direction, okay? So after the shuffle back, it's now the shuffle, run, shuffle, run. Starting off at the goal line, shuffle to the 10, turn and run to the 20, shuffle back to the 10, turn and run to the goal line. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm shuffling to the 10. So to get to the 10, turn and run, 20, right down, shuffle back to the 10, turn and run through the goal line. After that, I go into back pedal run, back pedal run. So very similar to the shuffle run, shuffle run. I'm going to back pedal to the 10, open up to the left, turn and run to the 20, back pedal back to the 10, open up to the right, turn and run back to the goal line. Let me show you this. Back pedal again. Not worry about the speed, I just want to be smooth. And every change of direction. And that's the warm-up. Hey, acceleration day. First thing we're gonna do is come out and do these push-up start sprints. First 2 weeks push-up start, weeks 3 and 4 is gonna be a 2-point stance. With these push-up starts, I would like to break it down into 2 groups, have skill, mid-skill in one group, and have your bigs in the second group. When we do this, I always allow them to run 2 at 80% full speed before I actually get them to that 100% max intense full speed. This is one thing that we need to know. Anytime we're doing sprint work, anytime we're doing speed work, we want to get faster. We have got to be running at full speed every single time, or we're wasting our time, okay? Start off with your hands behind the light. All I'm going to do is press up into the push-up position really fast and drive out for 10 yards. This is going to put me into a nice acceleration position without me even having to think about it. I'll show you when ready. Hey, on week 3, we start working top end speed. First week is going to be a build up of 20 yards with a 10-yard sprint. When I start this build up, I'm starting off in a walk. Each step, I'm getting faster and faster and faster. It shouldn't be just a jog and then a sprint when I get there. It should be a slow build up. So by the time I get to that first cone at 20 yards, I should be at full speed, and I will sustain that full speed 10 more yards through the 30. Watch it real quick. Day 4, Friday, is going to be our aerobic day, okay? So it's going to be long, slow distance training. This will be for the first 4 weeks, and then this will change, okay? This is pretty simple. Don't really need to do a warm-up before you come out here and do this. The guys can do some light static stretching if they would like to. All I'm going to do is here, line up at the back of the end zone. All I'm doing is jogging to the very end of that end zone. As soon as I get to that end zone, I'm going to turn, walk across the back of the end zone. As soon as my foot touches that back of that end zone, that corner, I'm back into my jog. This is a constant thing for the time allowed. The whole time, nobody should stop, nobody should sit around. Only time they're walking is when they're walking the back of the end zone, and every time they're on these straightaways, they should be in a run. One way you can progress, don't push the speed in the first couple of weeks. As they get more comfortable with it, they can start running these straightaways a little bit faster each week.